What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TNT Business Podcast. I'm your host, KT Temple, and I am here with my co-host, Ken Temple. What's going
man.
on?
What's going on?
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. I'm glad we pushed this off for a week. Simply
Yeah.
everything going on.
Yeah. It's we've got a lot of stuff to go into. As promised, we're going to get into our market report, which we base off the vision speech that Gary Keller does at Family Reunion and Mega Camp twice a year. But we also get this in between there as well. But before we get started with that, I do want to thank our sponsor, the Temple Team. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate, you can find us at thetempleteam.com. We are a real estate business that is located in the Charlotte, Lake Norman area. We've got agents all the way up from Hickory down to Fort Mill. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you can find us at thetempleteam.com. And it doesn't even have to be, around this area. You can find us no matter where you are, and we'll connect you with a specialist in your area, whether it's nationally, internationally. We're here to support your real estate needs. So again, that's thetempleteam.com. All right. So before we get into this, your biggest fear came true as of last week. And honestly, if we could, we would push this off again, probably. But we've got to get into it. And that was the price of oil has now gone over $100 a barrel.
So last week was going to be the market update. We always do it the very first show right after Keller Williams Family Reunion ends. But from the time it ended in that week is when the U.S. and Israel invaded Iran. And so we decided to preempt that. And, we said, gas price of oil is going to go up. It's all it takes to get to $100 a barrel. Oh, yeah, it just flew right past there already, just in no time at all. So we did. KT said, do you want to do another update today? I said, no, let's wait another week. If we start doing this, it's just going to be this. We're going to be updating the same topic every week until it.
Well, and we record this on Mondays, and this goes out on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So things will change by the time this comes out on Wednesday. So this is our market update as of today. If we need to next week, I foresee us probably recording us closer to release date just to get you guys some better information. And we might just take a full break if things are going, not a break on the show, but a full break of covering this topic until we get a little bit more clarity on the situation. So that's our disclaimer for that. So let's just get started with where do we start with this? Home sales?
So in home sales. And so, KT, here's the perfect example of us being first off an international economy. And if you happen to be watching this, you can see the slides that we're going through. But KT, if you go back to 2021, and in 2021, we sold 6.1 million houses in this country. And so in February of 22, we went to Family Reunion and we got this, this same kind of report, just like we're talking about today. And Gary Keller from Stage said, yeah, we sold 6.1 million homes last year. It's going to be a flat year. We're going to sell 6 million again. And we're thrilled because six was the biggest number we'd had since 2006. So it was like, sweet, we're thrilled. And so, but at the end of that, Gary said, hey, some things to think about that might, kind of mess that up. And one of the things he said, what if Russia invaded Ukraine? And before we left, in fact, I was in the airport flying home from Family Reunion when that happened.
Yeah.
And so instead of selling 6 million homes that year, we fell all the way to 5 million. And then in 2023, we sold 4.1 million. And in 2024, we sold 4.1 million. And in 2025, we sold 4.1 million. Just to give you an example, we haven't sold less than 4 million homes in this country since 1995. So last year we went under 4 million. So
and the last time we were at 4.1 was 08.
In 08, during the big downturn, we hit that. But we're at a 30-year low pretty much right now. And we're 3 years in a row in this 30-year low. It's, we say the economy hadn't been in a recession, real estate has. And so I know a lot of realtors out there going, Kent, tell me something good. Well, when Gary was talking 2 weeks ago, he said 4.3. Now, 4.3 does not sound great to me, but it's better than 4.1. I look at, Dr. Lawrence Young, who is the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. He's saying 4.5 to 4.6, which I'll take that. That's better than 4.3. Either one of those would be a step in the right direction. Here's my problem, KT. is that since Gary said that, all of a sudden now we've got yet another war going on, another whatever we want to call it. It's calling it a war right now, even though war hadn't been declared. I think right now everything's very, very up in the air. We could actually have another 4.1 million year, and maybe don't go up, but I just don't. It ain't 4.5, 4.6 would be the top, in my opinion, right now, unless something drastically changes, and we'll talk about that. But if you didn't like the results that you got the last 3 years, you better do something different, because the market's going to look pretty much like it has for the last 3 years, as far as we can tell at this moment in time.
And that's, I think, things staying the same will be the best result.
It could be. Which is go listen to last week's podcast, people. If you didn't listen to it, go listen to it. We talk about the importance of this happening quick. In 4 to 5 weeks, Iran needs to be over for the economy. If it's not, it can get iffy.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, so when we look at it, home prices, this has been one that, unless you're looking to sell right now, has really been a good one, because price appreciation has really slowed down the last couple of years, and has been very small. Nationally, less than 2% last year. And most predictions are predicting it to be flat again. And, we look, KT, an average years of 4%. And so this could be the third year in a row that the average home price was below the expectation. Now, nobody's predicting that nationally it's going to go backwards. If you could be in somewhere that it went backwards this year, and you may be next year, but overall, it's not predicted to go down. But it's not going to go up a lot. And KT, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, for example, in North Carolina, home prices are up over 70% in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We're okay taking 2 or 3 years where, let's stay
Absolutely.
at least close to flat, and let's help affordability and get more people in homes. So that's the good news, is there's not looking like there's not going to be big price appreciation, which the only people that care about that right now would be people getting ready to sell their home. Everybody else should like that, in that, hey, things could be more affordable, and they already are a little more affordable. So I kind of
it's not like they're dropping, obviously.
What's that?
It's not like they're dropping, right, if you're selling your home.
No, not nationally. Now, you could be in a locale that they have, but there's not a location that has dropped hugely at all. It's overall, it's kind of pretty flat, which, like I say, I'm okay with that. So the thing is, when you look at it, and when you look at just the total market volume, which is the amount, the dollar amount of houses we sold, I mean, last year was the third highest ever. Mm-hmm. Even though we were way down in sales, it's a tremendous amount of money that's being earned by real estate agents. And that's why there's so many real estate agents still in the game. The only years that the volume was higher was 21 was the highest, and 22 was the second highest. And now 3 years in a row, we've done the third highest, and we'll break it again. 26 will be higher than last year. Will not be higher than those other 2 years, but you're talking about the third highest volume, despite the fact we're stuck at 4 million homes. So there's that is the good news in all this.
And I think now that people are getting used to these interest rates, I think that will continue we're going to see a lot of people jump on the market that.
Yeah. And we'll kind of talk about that as when we get to interest rates. I'll talk about it a little bit more. Inventory's been our bugaboo, man. That's what's really hurt us the last few years. Yes, inventory has continued. It's gone up every year since 21. So from 20 to 21, it got to its lowest point. It's gone up every year since. It's predicted to go up this year, KT, but overall inventory they're predicting from a 3.7 month supply to a 4.2 month supply. That's still not historically a balanced market. A balanced market is 6 months of inventory. And KT, the last time we had 6 months of inventory was 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. All right, KT, I know you got a big birthday coming up. Not a big one, just a birthday. I guess they're all big, but you got a birthday coming up.
I was about to say 32 is not a big birthday.
It's just a number. But think about this, KT. In your adult life, since you got the right to vote, we've never had a balanced market. We've never been in what's historically considered a buyer's market in your entire adult lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean,
what was I doing? I was 15. Since I could drive, we haven't.
We haven't had 6 months of inventory since then. I mean, it's just crazy to think about. And go back, KT. We haven't reached 4 months supply since 2000 and really 2016. We maybe nipped it in 18, but it's been since 2016 where we had more than 4 months supply in a year. This is just a long, long, long seller's market where there just has not been enough inventory to meet. Yeah, it's going up, but it's not.
That's the like at least the exciting thing, I guess. If you're looking at this graph, we were at 2.2 in 2021, and now we're at 4.2 with it just gradually going up. And I think they're feeling that. Like, people aren't freaking out to get offers in like they were during COVID, which is good.
Well, that part is good, but KT, the thing is now remember, things have all of a sudden changed. And if you look at number of new listings weekly, we have been down year over year almost every week so far this year. In other words, we're not listing as many homes right now year over year at the same time as we have been. And and when I say down, it's barely down. Like last week was 1.2% down. So it's not like a huge number. Inventory is just not increasing. That has not happened yet. And I'm scared that with the gas prices going up and what inflation could look like, that might stay the same. We'll have to.
Dude, our word last year was uncertainty. I don't want to do it again.
Our word last year, if you listen to the show, we picked uncertainty.
I don't think we picked a word this year, but I don't want our word of the year to be oil prices.
I don't know.
All right, keep going.
I'm trying to think of a word to use in place of uncertainty, because right now, KT, we felt really certain till Saturday before last when the invasion started. Yeah, there were some pretty good ideas, and I really had good ideas about where I thought the market was going, and everything's just a little bit on hold right now.
We haven't talked about it when a people don't have clarity, they don't make decisions. Especially big decisions like moving.
Wait and see mode.
Yeah, and
I don't. Yeah,
no one does. I mean, no one really. If you're in the market for buying a home, you're paying attention, and anything that makes you feel uneasy will slow that process down. And when you do it at a national level, things slow down. It's just the way it's going to affect our society. At a large scale with all these huge events. I mean, not to get us sidetracked, but like they were looking at the psychology of people my age, and they were like, yeah, they do things a little bit slower because they're traumatized. They've got 9/11, recession, COVID. Now we're, potentially another war. I mean, there's like so many things happening that, okay, let's slow down a little bit before we, buy a house. I don't know where everything is going right now. And it slows the people down.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
So the next thing is, and we talk about this one the most, and it's the one thing that I have no control over, and it's not even my part of the transaction. It's just mortgage rates. And man, we've had it. The last few months have been great. We went from, this time last year we were still 6.5. 15 months ago we were right at 7. And so we've watched it come down. KT, for that Friday before the invasion of Iran, it was the average 30-year fix was 5.99. And then all of a sudden that happened. It went to 6.3. It's come back down. Right now, let's call it maybe 6.1. The thing is, all the projections before this kind of felt like that the average for 2026 would be somewhere between 5.9 and 6.2. Gary actually said 5.9 was their prediction. Here's the thing. For you to average 5.9 for the year, since we've been over 6 for the first 3 months, that means at some point we have to go below that. And right now, that is not the trend that I'm seeing on mortgage rates. I don't see them coming down much right now. And here's why. With everything going on, we're really worried about inflation, and gas prices are causing that. The Fed meets next week or a week after next. When they meet, there's about a 99% chance that they don't change the rates. Yeah. So no help there. And then the thing that we really follow for mortgage rates is that 10-year treasury. And it has been going up more than down. And so that's going to keep the rates higher. So do I think we're going back to 7? No. Do I think we're going below 5.9 anytime soon? No. Yeah. I think right now, KT, it's again, a little bit of wait and see, but there's not anything telling me that there's going to be a lot of change in either direction anytime real soon. But hey, if prices aren't going up and rates aren't changing a lot, you know what affordability is. This is it. So, do with it what you want.
Going back to that, it should just be the new normal, right? I feel like people are kind of getting used to that. I hope it doesn't get reduced drastically so people continue to get used to this, because I think this is what the future really looks like for those interest rates.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned this, KT, about how many people, what percentage of people, have rates at what, and it's right at 50% of people that have a mortgage is below 4, and 50% is above 4.
Yeah.
It's just right now that's the cutoff. Half the people that have a mortgage are above 4, and half are below 4. But 20% still are under 3. Those 20% of people ain't wanting to move. I'll go ahead and tell you. And 31.5% of people have a rate in the 3s, between 3 and 4%. They're not real happy about moving either. So that's still our bugaboo, and that's not going to change, because we're just not going to get close to those rates again. We're going to have people have to anniversary out of those rates or have real reasons to move before we get there. But hey, every time we sell a house at 6, KT, the number gets better, the percentage gets better of the people that own their homes.
What family reunion did I miss where you started saying bugaboo? Which cousin taught you this word?
Bugaboo. No, that was a man. I think it was a Destiny's Child.
Never heard you say this word, and you said it twice now.
Have I really?
Yeah.
I think that's really a word that I normally use.
No.
There's a song. I want to say it's Destiny's Child sang it.
Okay.
Have to look that one. Okay.
All right, keep going.
I will not say it anymore. I'll think of a new word. KT, this is a slide that I didn't appreciate when it was good. I didn't really start paying attention to it. It was bad. It's just affordability, and affordability. All that is it's the principal plus interest of what you pay for a home, and what percentage of your income that is. Historically, 27% is what people pay. That's the 27% affordability. Their principal plus interest. But KT, we went again. Your whole adult life and longer, we were below 27. In fact, from 2012 to 2020, it was right between 17 and 18% that whole time. It was just historically ridiculously affordable to buy a house, but we didn't really, or I didn't talk about it. I just wasn't aware of it, I guess. It was just so natural for it to be that. It didn't seem like a big deal until as soon as it went up. And when it went up hard.
Yeah,
COVID
and like a genius, it's the year I purchased my home.
Shocking. Well, in 2020, it was 18%. By the end of 2022, it was 34%.
Yeah.
So almost affordability almost doubled the wrong direction. In other words, it became less affordable in just a 2-year span. Now, it has fallen a little bit. It went from 34 to 32. The only way it's going to get below 32 this year, KT, is if people make more money. Because I think prices are going to be close to flat and rates are going to be close to flat. If those two things don't change, the only way we can become more affordable is if people make more money.
And that ain't going to happen, because I know what slide we're getting to here in a little bit, and I know where this direction is going.
It's 31, 32. It's just what it's going to be. You got it. You just got to know what again, you got to do it. So U.S. economy, we're going to talk about just a few things that I watch. I do watch GDP, the gross domestic product. This is the cost of all goods and services in the U.S. 2 is healthy. The 2 is a good number. Anything above 2 is really good, unless it starts causing, unless you see more inflation kind of deal. So last year, GDP came at 2.2, which is down a little bit from the previous couple of years, but still would be solid. The problem with last year is there's just no way to really read it, because it was up and down all year because of tariffs. So like early in the year, GDP was phenomenal at some points because of how people were importing goods, and then it went to crap, and then it got good again. Real wait and see on GDP right now.
And I have to point out that a lot of that is just from AI. And so when we talk about like that bubble where all that money's coming from, a lot of it's being directed in that direction, which is sketchy a little bit. If anything happens to that sector, what would happen to that number?
Yeah. And nobody's making any money in it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you look at KT, talk about a long run. Since 2010, GDP has been pretty doggone flat. From 2010 to 2025, it stayed kind of just in a good place, with the exception of 20 and 21. COVID went down. 21 it went up, but that was just going up to replace the down from COVID.
Yeah.
We've had a long run of really solid GDP. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it just stay at that 2 this year. That would help all of us as we go through. But that's definitely one of the things that I watch. All right, ooh man, this is a bad one.
Well, and it just got worse.
Yeah.
From when this report came out, this is another good reason why we waited a week, because get started, and I'll get some clarity to what happens.
Another thing is we'll probably do another market update. I'm gonna say probably late May, early June, because we'll need one. Yeah. So unemployment. So first off, another long run. Anything in unemployment under 6 is good. If 6% or less, it's considered solid. We haven't been over 6% unemployment since 2014. So again, we just had a decade. And what happened, KT, is from 2014, unemployment just steadily, it went down. Take out the COVID where it was high, and then it stayed flat. So in 22, it was 3.6, and 23 it was 3.6, 24 it went to 4.0, and then last year it went to 4.2. But there was some thought that, but we think we've kind of flattened it. Well, so you want to tell what the jobs?
Well, yeah. So I believe it's the past 3 months of job reports that have been reported and it may be even longer than that, have come back for, clarification, and they go, actually, it was less than what we reported, if not negative.
They all got revised.
Every single one got revised down.
Yeah.
And this one is being put out at about 70, 80,000 jobs lost.
The last one I just saw was 77,000, I believe.
77,000. And that's what it's coming out at.
So, right now,
if that gets revised even lower, which has happened every single time recently, that could be this number could change drastically, I believe.
Sure.
And things don't change.
And just like everything we're talking about, guys, we're talking the national numbers. You need to find your local numbers. For example, I know in Charlotte, in my area, we're at 3% unemployment. So it's still phenomenal comparatively. But right now, we ended last year 4.2. Now it's 4.3. We gotta see this. And KT, we talked about this last week for a minute. There are a lot of companies that are slashing jobs, and the reason they're giving for slashing jobs is AI. And I don't believe that.
No, it's an absolute scapegoat.
Yeah, the AI is a scapegoat. So and what they did was, in the boom times, they overhired. They overhired people, and they're like, oh, but now we can claim AI and blame it on that, and nobody's going to question us. Especially our investors aren't.
And we'll get more money if we say it. If you come out with hey, we got to let 100 people go, because times are rough, or I can say, hey, we're getting to let 100 people go because we have AI now. Yeah. And it does, and it's where all this money is being influenced. Because if you just say AI, you get money. I mean, that is basically all it's been. People are going to eventually figure out that it's worthless.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right people behind it using it.
Yeah. So, with unemployment going up, that should be a good sign for rates. That would be if unemployment's going up, that's a good reason to cut interest rates to make businesses want to borrow money and pour money into their businesses. So that would be a reason, hey, the Fed could cut rates. What does that look like? Unfortunately, the problem is inflation. Mm-hmm. And inflation, man, we've slowly, man, it's been a slow return to that 2% they look for. I mean, we've just crawled along at just under 3. It seems like forever. The projection was finally, KT, that we were going to get to 2% in 2026. I don't know now. And here's why. We already know that oil prices are going up.
Yeah, some could say we blew it up.
Yeah, well, we know the oil prices are going up, but everything relies on energy to get somewhere.
Well, and not only that, I think a lot of people don't realize what else is being transported through there. Because I think people are just hearing oil. The other big thing you need to think about is where fertilizer comes from. And it's from there as well.
All of it comes from there. Yes.
That's the other thing that affects this. So it's food, it's energy, it's gas prices. All of this is going to be affected.
And the reason you're like, we don't get our oil from there. Why does it matter to us? Well, because the price of oil, South Korea gets almost all its oil through there. Guess what? They're going to start buying oil that we could have bought for this. Now they're going to offer that. Now they'll get it. We have a world economy.
And we do not have reserves. The only country in the world right now who is going to kind of be fine right now is China, because they have the reserves of oil. We never refilled ours.
Well, we do have reserves there.
We do.
They have, but they haven't released any.
But they haven't been refilled in a while, from what I understand.
And they don't want to. That's kind of a last step that they want to do. But KT, everything.
It seems like something you would do before you bomb the country that helps produce it to the rest of the world, though. I will throw that out there.
Well, you have to have the ability to store it and all that stuff. It's that takes years of planning to get ahead of it. But
there's another point I want to make.
The problem is everything takes gas, and diesel is more expensive, and everything gets shipped by diesel.
Especially in America, where we don't have trains everywhere, we have trucks everywhere.
Yeah. Well, so the cost of everything is going to go up if oil stays up. It just is, because everything's going to be more expensive to get to places.
Well, and here's another update regarding that. In Kuwait, they just stopped drilling, which again is another incredibly expensive part to even get that started. So now things are stopped up so much over there, they have nowhere to put the oil. So
that's why they stopped. That's why they stopped is they ran out of storage.
Yeah. Exactly, man. And that is a whole nother thing that's going to be a domino effect on top of all of this.
Yep, could be. But that's KT, that's really the kind of the key things that I watch is I'm really watching the unemployment and watching inflation just so I can try to get a figure on what's going to happen in terms of mortgage rates that'll help people want to sell houses. So I think that's probably the key things that I wanted to hit right now, unless you had something else that you wanted to talk about.
No, I the only other thing is I'm trying to protect you a little bit. How did you pronounce the country that was just bombed? Say it again for me.
Iran.
Okay, so it's not. It's Iran, right? Iran.
No, it's
Iran. How you pronounce. Well, that's how you say it in America. But
it's the southern. See, I'm talking about the southern part.
Here's what I found out, and
you've already been in New Jersey too long. It's time for you to move somewhere else.
No. But I saw this thing. I thought it was really funny because Americans get shit on all the time for saying I'm wrong. But it's not just us. If I was going to ask you, where is Hitler from? What country was that?
Where is Hitler from?
Yeah. What's the name of the country that starts with a G?
Germany.
Germany. Okay. What do people in Germany call Germany?
Germany.
No. Deutschland. It's Deutschland. They don't call it Germany. If someone is from Tokyo, what country are they from?
They're from Japan.
No, they're from Nippon. They don't call it Japan. So I just find it so interesting that everyone gets so upset about that. I'm like, no. You guys don't understand. We mess up every country that we have a name for. Most countries, you call a name, they don't call themselves by that name. Which I just think is funny.
So the next thing you're going to tell me is it's not the Gulf of Mexico.
I mean, apparently you can just name things whatever you want, man. Most people are original. They don't just name stuff after themselves over and over again. All right, guys. Well, that's all we got here for you this week. We'll be back again next week with another episode. Like I said, we either might stay on this subject. We might take a break for a little bit.
It really
looking at me going, no, we're not doing this.
It just depends on what we try to do is we want to be topical and we want to tell you what's going on. And we'll just have to see where we are next Wednesday morning.
We might have to start recording Wednesday mornings for the next few weeks.
KT, that's not the way we are right now. That's not a bad idea because things change. KT and I actually, so last Monday we were going to do the market update, and then Saturday, the invasion took place, and so we're talking, and KT said, well, what do you want to do? I said, let's do the invasion. We need to talk about the effects that Iran, however you want to say it. We want to talk about the effect. That's topical. Let's push market update. And KT said, we just want to take both of them. And I went, No.
The same
I
thing.
don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't because it's gonna and it does look different. I guess the thing is I'm more certain about the things I'm uncertain about than I was a week ago. Yeah, and next week I think it'll be a little bit more. We need some clarity around what's going to happen, and it could take a few more weeks to shake out, and it could take a few more months. In which case, it's gonna suck.
All right, guys. Well, want to thank the Temple team again. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you can find us at thetempleteam.com. If you like this episode, feel free to share it with somebody or leave us a review. That really does help us out a lot. And we'll be back again next week with another episode, guys. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe out there. We'll see you around.